Lately, I've begun to discover how, when I place a crystal near a chakra, bliss results. That's a rather odd thing, won't you agree? What do I mean? Hmm, let me try to explain. And that doesn't always work so well. So let's see if the flow will do it instead. Here's the thing. We're meant to have bliss. It's meant to be an easily accessible state or thing or whatever. We're also designed for joy and happiness. We came here into 3D for the fun of it, yet this is what most of us have quite forgotten. We've got it buried inside there somewhere. Go within. You'll find the echo of what's being said right there in your own store of wisdom and knowledge. I guarantee. Check it out. Now, so this is what is meant to be the divine plan. So, why aren't we experiencing that? Well, first part is because we took our eye off the ball. That began it. It all followed from there. Oh, and notice how important the eye and the vision is here, and that's a fact. So, when we weren't looking, somehow things got out of control. We were focused elsewhere, and then incrementally, we were had. Okay, let's call things like they are, like it is. No sugarcoating. Sugarcoating is for babies, and we're not that, not by a long shot. So let's rise up in awareness and see. What is the state that we find the self in here in 3D? Look at it squarely. What do you see? Take a moment and look at yourself through your inner eye. Use our heart vision. Know that you do see this way. Let yourself see what is there. You can do this. Shove mind aside. Just don't listen to it. Take a look at self. Okay. Now, know that your inner self has recorded an accurate picture. So let's continue. Let's see where we stand. If you'll stay within heart for this, you'll begin to get the inner guidance that's there. You'll be given certain understandings. Begin to commune with yourself this way. Very beneficial. Besides, it's just fun. Now, here's what I see. We've got a lot of people being tugged and pulled around by strings and ropes attached to the mind, to the brain, to the nervous system. There are implants and force fields galore here. Now, I'll stop. Some went right into fear there. Let that go. That's just mind acting up. Back within heart, please. You can look at this. It won't bite you. It's simply that which is. Your inner self is in no way afraid of this. That is only the mind. Time to ignore and move on. So here we go. Okay, so I see all these beings being controlled somewhat like marionettes. I see that many of the strands and strings of control, in fact most of them, are hooked in through the solar plexus and the brain. Many are hooked on fear. They are feeling the high of the entities being fed off of their sacred energy when they feel fear. Now be still with that. No fear here, remember, not in the heart. Everybody, say it with me. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. There's nothing new here. Just stuff maybe you've not been willing to see, to face, and to simply see what is. That is all. Nothing's changed. This just is. Okay. I hope we're all back in heart then. To continue, here's more of what I see. The strands and strings of control go throughout all the chakras. They penetrate both in the body and out into the aura or energy force field. A lot of them go deep into the sub and unconscious mind space. That's largely where we're controlled from, since it runs beneath conscious awareness. Well, let's take a moment to remember. Take your power back. Don't be a chump. What is unseen has tremendous power and force to control. Yet, what's once seen, it's castrated. It will never again be so powerful. Seeing is doing, and that's a fact. Now, I'll glance lightly over this, but realize the subject is far deeper. Please know there are layers and levels to all of this energy. It covers even various dimensions, all centering here, right where you are. We're not going to go into them now, not on what may be your first introduction to the subject. This is heavy enough as it is. Okay, now, back into paradox with you. Do recognize, please, that wherever there's a heavy, there's also a light. Do you see this? They're really just a pair. A bit like a pair of aces, powerless apart, but something else when they're together. Well, every polar opposite contains its other half, always a pair. Be in higher consciousness with it, and that's the new view that you'll be seeing all the time. It's a matter of choice and vision, of course. Okay, now are you ready for some more looking at the self there? Center down, and here we go. Let's look at color. Now, there are lovely and not so lovely colors. There are pure ones, then there are those tinged with gray and black and smudgy stuff. So there's ever a mixture, dark and light, and that's fine. Take a good look. And remember, higher self took a picture for you. Look within to see a higher self holding it up for you now. Know that you do know. All right, moving on. The dark and heavier energies seem to hang out in the bottom part of the energy field. A lot of times, not always. This extends several feet below your feet, right into the ground. So know that as you take a walk in the park, you're far more connected with Mother Earth than you may have realized consciously before. There's a part of you that's walking right through her. So, from about the navel, on a flat plane with that, and extending down, rather like a big kettle drum, is the darker part of everyone's aura, including yours. No need for the details now. Just begin to sense how things are arranged. Each time you center in heart, your whole aura gets juiced with a charge of light. Did you know that? We are, or are meant to be, beings of flow. For most of us, though, a lot of the darker energies simply represent where the flow has been blocked, sometimes for a very long time. So, darker energies who are not comfortable with light and flow congregate there. Very logical and quite harmless. Remember, too, it just is what it is. If you get fearful at all, use that as a mantra. It just is what it is. Nothing more, only that. Plus, remember from the last journal or so about the big box with the heavy lid and the latch. Open it up and dump fear or anything else in there that bugs you. You have the power. Practice taking your power back from anything and everything you vested it in, anything outside of the self. You are the power of you. You're all that's needed, an atom in the body of God. Moving on again. Yes, the energies we're wading through just now are quite heavy. That's okay. With strong inner intent and determination, that's no problem. It's a matter of taking more and more of your power back, our power. And as you do, you'll be enabled to wade through the most amazingly heavy energy and simply not be deterred. It's a lark when you get the hang of it. Okay, things have gotten quite heavy for a number of you. I can sense that, so stay with me now. Center firmly in the middle of your chest. Okay, you ready? Come along with me. Okay, now let's shoot up and out the top of the head, straight into the upper atmosphere. You up there? Let's hang out and float there for a bit. Let's let the sky and the air, the wind and the sun, the light bathe us and cleanse us of some of the sticky energy we were just having a look at. Feel it flow through. Now realize that in your spirit body, you have none of that. You are quite pure. Stay with me now. Stay out of the head. Now, with our spirit self soaring or floating above, up high in the atmosphere, let's take that view in for a bit. Have a bit of a flyabout. Have some fun. Maybe soar a few times round the earth and the sun if you like. Or if you're brave enough, around the planets as well. Weave in and out. Loosen up a bit. You can do this. You are here. When you're in heart, you're in the center of every atom that is, was, or ever will be. Okay. Things are distinctly lighter now. So, stay up high with me, but let's gather together. We're going to do something wonderful for the self we still have down below there abiding in 3D. So stay up high with me, but have a dual focus. Look and now see through the clouds, the atmosphere, to the self there, seated below. Home in on that one. Okay, now all together, let's send a bright, fresh charge of this lovely free energy from up here. Let's focus that right on the heart area there below. Let's see it expand and explode out into that aura. Do you see that? Do you see the brightness shining? Cleansing can take place like this. You can remind yourself at any time that though you're in 3D, you're also up here or anywhere in all of infinity that you choose to be. You're not trapped. That's important to know. Now, as we bring our spirit bodies back down to the earth, back into congruence with the 3D form below, we bring a further charge of this light and beauty, this airiness, the essence of the freedom we just experienced. Let's anchor it now here in the aura. There's a real lightening that takes place with this. It's not the most effective way to clean the aura, perhaps, but it might be the most enjoyable one. I don't know. You try it out. Now, back to bliss. Bliss and crystals. How does that work? Well, not mechanically, that's for sure. There's no list that says, do this and then that, and then bingo, bliss appears. Not that way. You see, I don't participate in the various ways people have of manipulating the chakras, the energy, the aura, the kundalini. I don't try to astral travel or to go to past lives. I don't do any of that. Know why? Come on, be in heart with this knowing. You do know. It's because every bit of that I find is mind-driven, and that's just not my way. Not saying it's wrong. It just doesn't lead where I'm going. So here's my recommendation for what it's worth. You're going to do what you want to do anyway, and that is perfectly fine. What I want to say, though, is that it's quite wonderful to just let the body's intelligence take care of these things. First things first, what's really important in life? See to that. All the rest will just follow, will just line up, really, in its place. And what you'll find is that the way things line up for you, once you let go of having the mind in charge all the time, is nothing short of magnificent and awesome. But you've got to let go. And that's the hardest part, just cutting the cord that ties you to the mind. Here's another secret. All these cords and lines, these dark energies and all of the rest of it, that will take care of itself as your energy rises. In higher vibration or frequency, most of this stuff just falls away. It can't sustain itself in higher consciousness. Too uncomfortable. It doesn't vibrate like that. To have a dark aura, you have to abide in darker frequencies. And as long as you're not identified with that, it can go away. If you've identified with it, well, you get to feel that discomfort. So, no doubt you can see the bottom line here. It's that you're empowered. You call the tune. You make the choices. Only you. No, not anyone or anything else. Not life, only you. See, if you hang about in the lower vibrational area, you can be controlled. It can have a heck, it can be a heck of a thing to try to break free from. But do you see how all of that pushing, that resistance, that trying to break free, do you see how that is just more of this dance of polarity? That can go on endlessly. That's my experience. It never quits. Sure, you shift polarities, but then the polarities are always shifting. Nothing is stable here. It's like quicksand. Well, to heck with that. Come up higher. That's the answer to all of it. Rise above. This rise is in frequency. You'll still maintain the body in 3D for a time until the shift. Meanwhile, though, you can anchor yourself in what amounts to higher dimensions while still navigating the ship of state, the 3D being, the aura, and the rest of it. It's a package. Be masterful, my friends. Come on now. If you're with my journals at all, then face this fact. You're a master. You couldn't stand this vibration otherwise. Do you realize that? Then wake up to it. Don't fear it. Remember, humility abides. It permeates heart space. So don't worry about ego taking over. It will be easy to spot, easy to see. Well, from the heart, that is. Ego cannot be seen easily when abiding in mind. Be blessed infinitely. You are both blessed and you are blessing to the earth. Be the fullness of the blessing you are and are meant to be to all life. See you soon.